Bienvenidos, mi amigos. It's your boy Darzus, back at it again, and thank you for joining me to talk about Undead Unluck Chapter 170. Hey, let me know if y'all agree with me, but this entire school arc's been a real breath of fresh air for Loop 2. Coming out of the mayhem, which was the Tenrai tournament, the mysterious nightmare, which was the space arc, and the sheer chaos, which was the Buroja War, it's been really nice to just take the seriousness out of the equation, let the entire cast join together and have a lot of fun. This school arc is just a lot of fun. However, before we talk about Chapter 170, a couple quick updates. Allegedly, in issue 38 of Weekly Shonen Jump, we're going to be getting another piece of information about the Undead Unluck anime. And what I'm imagining this is going to be is like a voice actor or something, a voice actor or potentially an episode count. Whether it's going to be 12 or 24 episodes, it would be really cool to see that. I want to make that speculative video where I'm talking about how far I think we're going to go in the anime, yada yada yada, all that sort of junk. However, I think it's stupid to make if we don't at least know the episode count yet. So as soon as that comes out, I'm making that video. You already know the dealio. However, with that piece of information also comes a color page. And Yoshifumi Gotsuka, once again, my hat's off to you, sir. You are a workhorse, and I don't understand how he's put out this many color pages this year only. Like in early Undead Unluck, there were a lot of color pages, but recently, dude, literally every single arc has gotten a color page, and it's really impressive. They're all really detailed, and as I've always said, Yoshifumi's one of the best colorists in Jump. But let's jump into this video. I'm probably making this intro way too long, so let's talk about Chapter 170, y'all. Since I missed Chapter 169, let me highlight a thing or two real quick. A really dope nod to Loop 1 starts off 169. Chikara is called on in class by his teacher due to the fact that he is the 11th seat. He is also the 11th member of the Union, the 11th seat that we picked up, and I don't mean to sound like an astrology or zodiac girl, but that's his angel number. Crazy, right? And this applies to 169 and 70, but I kind of want to highlight it now. Yoshifumi Gotsuka is really freaking talented, y'all. Obviously, Undead Unluck's always been a really unique series. Not a lot of mangakas are able to juxtapose relationships with action, with world building, and all of this junk built up into one series and handle it all well, but he's always done that. But now in Loop 2, showing his ability to just jump from situation to situation and make it all work is amazing. And right here, right now, in this quite literal slice of life arc, I think he's showing his writing chops the best he's ever done it. Just due to the fact that I'm loving this. I'm not really a slice of life enjoyer. I've seen like some of the greater stories, like your Violet Evo Gordon, like your freaking Your Name, all those sorts of stuff. Like I've seen the normal guys. However, it's not my like genre. This right here though, Undead Unluck slice of life, I'm reading that. I need to read the light novel. Maybe I'll make a video on that, because if that's more of this, I'm loving it. And Undead Unluck right now is just really fun. Some of the most fun I've had the entire time I've read this series, and it's fun to just see how Yoshifumi can take the seriousness, the tension away from a situation and still just create magic like this. I'm kind of harping on that same idea that Yoshifumi is the Gotsuka when it comes to writing. The way that he's able to fully flesh out Chikara as a character is really amazing. I thought it was an interesting decision at first to focus an arc on Chikara, just due to the fact that he's one of the characters last loop we really got fleshed out a lot. He had a big part in the auction arc, summer, spring, Ragnarok, the list goes on. He was always one of those characters who was kind of included in most situations. But now, it's really cool to see how even though we knew all this stuff about him, there's still a little bit more we can know to kind of crack the nut, which is this kid. And Chikara is a chef, an artiste in the kitchen due to the fact that his parents own a high-end restaurant. And because of that, Fuko and many others would assume that Chikara would take over the business for his parents. But this all ties back to that career development test Chikara was taking at the beginning of last chapter. He's just indecisive in the fact of what he wants to do with his life. He knows he loves photography and he really has this passion and this talent for this, but due to who he is as an individual, who his parents are, and like the situation he's currently in, he thinks he's kind of trapped and forced into being a chef, going and owning this restaurant. But let's get away from the nitty-gritty for a second. It's really freaking crazy how Yoshifumi kind of tricked us into thinking that this was going to be a long-form arc. I think he just wanted to skip past things. He wants to go through the years so he can continuously pick up more negators, and that's why they've been here for so long. And it's the Uma quest month, And I just thought this was a really interesting thing. It's not cheap or anything. Right now, the current focus is picking up characters. But Yoshifumi, once again, the world building that this guy is able to establish and kind of continuously push along the chronological chart, which is the Undead Unluck in-universe world, is very smart. But as Fuko and Gina are off slaying Umas, the sports festival gets underway. With only 15 points deciding the victor of the relay, we needed Fuko Izumo, the savior, to come in and carry the team. Gina as well, but come on, you know who the savior of Loop 2 has been. And this is funny because they come back all beaten up because they've been out slaying Umas. It's Uma slaying months. But Fuko is a hard-boiled gal. She's ready to get in there and verse off against Shin. But Fuko, she's really just a woman who none can compete with at this point. I just am feeling bad for God whenever we see him, her, all of them, because they're just gonna get their butt kicked by Izumo. She defeats Shin in a race, and as we come to find out later in the chapter, hilariously, I don't know where she slipped it in, but she touched Shin with her hand in order to give him unluck, and his pants fall off at the finish in this photo finish shot by our boy Chikara. And this is one of my favorite panels I've seen in Undead Unluck so long. Just a very unique one, this photo falling down of all these shots, really cool stuff. And we see Nico is scared of this ghost which is coming at him, so I guess it's a canon event for this guy to just get haunted by ghosts. And following the Summer Games Festival, we have this moment of realization for Chikara, this conversation between him and Fuko and Gino, where they have to get across to him the fact that he is a very impressive, very amazing photographer, and that if he wants to pursue the skills which he has been given, which is not only cooking, but the skill which he has a passion for, which is photography, he should do it. He should do what he is good at and what he wants to do, because it's also making people happy. It's not just cooking and making his parents happy, but it's making anybody happy, just like the people on the other side of the camera. And this is one of those moments where I was smiling ear to ear, because I love whenever Yoshifumi Gotsuka just tells people to live their life, to take control of themselves and who they are, because that's what you gotta do. No matter your trauma, no matter your what are the insecurities, you just gotta do you. And that's what Fuko and Gina get across to Chikara before he gets to the point where he's gotta tell his parents what he wants to do. It's really interesting to see what really happens in the moment of Chikara's tragedy, because it makes all the more sense about him and the ability which he manifests. The fact that his ability manifests during this tragic moment where indecision is what really kills Chikara. He couldn't say what he wanted to be because he couldn't decide. He couldn't decide if I want to live for me or for my parents. But no matter what, because God sucks, he's going to gain that ability. So although he's able to voice to his parents that he wants to live and pursue his dreams as a photographer, Unmove still manifests. And with that same bus which destroyed his life in the previous loop on the way, Fuko and Gina, made invisible by the help of Sean, are able to stop the truck in its tracks. And this is an insane feat. I imagine it's primarily more Gina. Unchained is an extremely strong ability. However, the fact that Fuko had the utzpah, the nuts, to just jump in and freaking Zankai a truck is really hard-boiled. And Sean, always thinking he's the main character, said, I need to be here. I need to do my part too. Makes them invisible, which is madly goofy just due to the fact that no matter what, just like it's been happening the entire arc right here, them doing some stupid shit and ending up in a stupid situation in a stupid position, you still look really suspect, as they look right here, because everybody's like, wait, why are you standing in front of that random truck that just got stopped? And due to this entire thing, we get a, oh, okay, so basically, and where Fuko explains this entire situation to Chikara and his parents. But although Fuko tells Chikara all this information, you know, that he's a negator, that they're a group of negators who would move to this school in order to stop the tragedy from occurring, yada, 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 she also tells him that he can graduate from school. And, you know, school in the US, where I'm from at least, is ends in like May, ends around that time. So like, when does school for them end? Is it like ending right now during this arc? Are they gonna get to like graduate, blah blah blah, have their fun, woo, and then we're into a new arc like next chapter or the chapter after that? Or what's about to occur? I have no idea. I think Yoshifumi Gotsukubo is just really taking a break with this, and I think I don't want to edit this video super long. And this was like a fun chapter, but there was not much to say. There's not much to say.